What is happening, guys? I'm Matty Wilde, this is VW Tiguan, and this is my new daily driver. And today, I don't know what we're going to get up to. But we're trying to get the Fiesta ready for a track day. I've not booked a track day, I've not planned anything, because we've got a few jobs to do. Firstly, this needs a new tow bar. That needs a new brake duct, and we just need to get that running right. We've gone for a swan neck tow bar. I've not gone for a detachable. The reason being, I like to swap my cars quite a lot, and these tow bars, they can add up. This is 150 brake, 2 litre diesel, automatic, the DSG. The reason why I've gone for an upgrade is because I get these on finance, and it was on 8,000 miles a year. I was doing 13,000, 12,000 miles, and I was just losing money on it. So I've given myself a cheeky upgrade. Now the last one was amazing at towing. It was a 4Motion. This one's just front wheel drive, but it is better on fuel. It's mint for work. I love it. Hopefully it tows as well. Obviously with the 4Motion, it's good for towing caravans on grass and stuff like that, but we're just towing the trailer on the road into the car parks at the tracks and stuff like that, so we should be okay. Now before the Tiguan, which you saw on the channel quite a lot, I had a T-Roc R. The T-Roc R, oh, it's unreal. Launch control, 300 brake. It was very understated. I put a picture up here of it. It was mint. Before that, I had a T6.1 transporter van, which had been converted. Now that thing was unreal. I'll stick some pictures on of that because I loved that van. But I bought it with 18 miles on the clock. It was brand new. I think I put about 16,000 miles on it, but I was just using it for work every day, and I was putting pressure on myself to use it to go out camping and stuff like that. And now it would be perfect to tow this, camp at the track, all that kind of stuff. But with a family of 4, a transporter is just too small. So I'm gonna chop that in as well. So as you can see, I've already started giving it a clean. Just gonna rinse it off just so we can get this bumper off. And then let's get into it. Right, so we've got the bar mounted, solid. I'm happy with that. Yeah, what a job. Now, obviously before I get the bumper on, we'll get the wiring through here, get all the wiring mounted loosely, because we need to get the bumper on before I can get the actual ball on as well. So that's the order of things. Back to it. Already got the wire through there. Just plugged all the pins in. I had to use my phone to scan a code and then get all the wiring diagram for that. I'm just going to put this on loosely now, so when I put the bumper on and then I bolt the ball up later, and then I just put the mount on for that. Nice and easy, he says. So here we have it, folks. Tow bar is fitted, but now we need to get in there and get them wires through to the front and get them spliced in. Right, I'm not going to film this bit because it is very intricate and fiddly. I basically need to take this clip apart on the body control module and start splicing into some wires and then getting into the fuse box, which is behind here. If I can do this one-handed. I couldn't do it one-handed, so there's a little transition there. Yeah, I need to get behind this fuse box and start clipping some wires in behind there as well. Don't forget, disconnect your battery when you do this. Okay, so there she is, done. All we got to do now is code it. I need VCDS because the front assist doesn't work, which is the radar guided cruise control. Now, this is just a tow bar. It doesn't mean much, but I'm very excited about this because now we can hook up the trailer, we can get the Fiesta on, and we can get to Oulton Park, and we can try and get under 2 minutes. But before we do that, we've got to get the Fiesta in, and we need to fix that brake duct. Last time we were out in Oulton Park and I thought it had all those noises and the gearbox was gone and my head went, it was just the brake hose had gone because the 3D printed fog light brake duct housing had broke. So I've ordered another one of them. And I think she'll be ready to go then. We'll see. Okay, so now we've got the tow bar sorted. Next, I need to get this little majobby swapped. This is basically a fog light brake duct housing. Now, I believe this is broken. I've already got these fitted on the car and this is broken. They are 3D printed. I got them off eBay. And I think the brake duct was then just flapping around and that was what was causing all that noise on track when we were at Oulton Park last time. So I'm going to get that swapped, get the brake duct back on, and off we go. Right, okay, with the brake duct fitted, we're on to the next job. Now, I said at the beginning of the video, we didn't have a track day booked, but since then, I've booked on Oulton Park on March the 13th, Friday the 13th actually, PM slot. It was just over half the price to do PM, so I thought, I'll do a PM, I'll go down, do a bit of filming in the morning, do the old traditional pit walk for you guys, let them warm up the track for us, and then we'll give it a shakedown. Because if you have any problems, it's just a waste if I do a full day. That being said, I want this car to be perfect. So I did have a little bit of a boost leak. And if you saw in one of the previous videos, what I was doing was blocking the intake pipe. All the hoses were sucking in, and then the engine should stall. It was sucking in. It was killing the revs a little bit, but it wasn't stalling the engine completely. So I've ordered a testing kit off eBay. It was only about £30. It should be here in a couple of days, but for you, it should be here in a couple of seconds. We'll get this hooked up now and we'll see if I have fixed that boost leak properly. Because after I got it back from the map and last time I went out, I was getting an engine management light, which was the code I read was the map sensor. And then I was doing the test where I covered up the intake hose and the hose pipes were sucking in, but the engine wasn't stalling. At first, the pipes weren't even sucking in, so I did trim it away, fix it a little bit, and fix that hose that comes off, well, the hose that goes into the turbo, I think was the one that was causing the issue. But it's still not cutting out the engine, and if this engine was starved of air, then it would completely cut out. So, kit's arrived. Let's get it hooked up. Well, that kit was relatively easy to get set up, so let me bring you in a little bit closer. As you can see there, we've got this little pressure gauge on, we've got all that hooked up, and then we've got this adapter kit that we've put onto the intake hose. We can pump some air into there, add some pressure, and let's see if we get any leaks. Right, well, things have escalated a little bit more than expected. This little thing is basically compressor housing intake, and this is where the boost pipe fits on, and this bit goes on the turbo. Now, this should be sort of sealed onto the turbo. Now, bear in mind, on the turbo, air's being sucked in and this is being pulled into the turbo. So when it's on the car, it's not actually that bad. I don't think it's going to leak, but we're putting pressure into it, building pressure inside, and this is popping off, and this is where it's leaking from. So I've had to take the blow-off valve off. I'm going to try and put this back on. I've got myself a little bit of Loctite. I've even got some JB Weld, but we're not going to use that. That's a bit extreme. I'm going to try this. It's very cold, so I don't know whether it's going to take very well, but we'll put some Loctite 542 on, which is for pipe sealant. Try and leave it for 24 hours, fit the pipe. I might not pressure test it because it's probably just going to try and pop it off again. Maybe I can just run it and get underneath and see if I can hear any air. Or on the pressure tester, you can turn it right down. So we could even try and turn it down and just see if it can hold some pressure or something like that. Anyway, rambling. What an absolute nightmare that was, but I think I've boxed it off. I hope I've fixed that boost leak, but what it was, the blow-off valve is at the bottom of the turbo and the intake pipe's here, and there was just no gap between them. And what was happening is the Jubilee clip, I just couldn't get it in. So I'd loosen the blow-off valve, put the Jubilee clip on, tighten up the blow-off valve, and then this would pull the compressor housing intake cone that I showed you earlier in the video. It pulled that off. So I sealed it up with the Loctite, like I said, left it overnight, put it all on, put the pressure tester on it, and it popped off. So back at it again, cleaned it all out, put the Loctite back on, put that back on, and ground away a little bit of the intake, the silicone hose, the intake hose. I've got it all in, I've got it all tight, I'm happy with it. But there'll be only one way to find out, and that's to kick its head in on track and see if we don't get that loss of power like we got after, I think, 4,000 or 5,000 RPM, like you saw in that last video. There's one last job to do though, and that is this high pressure fuel pump. Right, so you've already seen me do a video on the high pressure fuel pump, so go back and check that out if you've not seen it. So I've just ripped this one out. I'll switch around so you can see what I've done. There she is. Coil pack's out. Take that little cover off. Disconnect the fuel lines. Take the high pressure fuel pump off. And that's the high pressure fuel pump upside down. So basically what it does is there is a little cam bucket, which I'll show you in a second, and it runs off the cam and builds up pressure. And there it is, a little cam bucket, so you can see where it's been wearing on the cam there, and inside where it's been wearing on the fuel pump itself. So there's a non-worn one. So let's get that in, and hopefully it improves. So if you have gone back and watched that video, or if you're an OG, you'll know that I snapped one of these bolts last time, so I'll get the correct torque settings this time. And if you haven't said, the reason why I'm doing this is because I swapped that cam bucket on the other engine. Then the engine blew and I put this replacement one in, and we were getting low fuel pressure, weren't we, on the dyno. So hopefully this might improve it. So there she is, swapped all back together. Sounds nice, it's still ticking, but needs a direct injection, so we do tick anyway. Sounds good. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that solves our problem. We will see. Now we need to log, but take it out and put it under a bit of load. Right, with that job wrapped up, I think that's it. I think we're ready for the track day. So it's Saturday, we're going on Friday. I basically just need to get this loaded up, get it to track, kick its head in and see if we have any problems. I can't do any more than what I've done. I'll take the Surface Pro with me and I'll try and log and find any faults while we're there if we have any issues. Nut and bolt check it all and stuff like that. But yeah, next video, Oulton Park. So I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell notification, because the next one we are going to be on track and hopefully we're going to get under 2 minutes. So see you on the next.